Guardian Tales recently introduced their newest character, Milim Nava, as the second featured hero in the second part of the That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime collaboration. Milim Nava is renowned as a formidable demon lord in the series, but does her in-game representation match her power? Join us in this video as we delve deep into Milim's abilities, exclusive weapon, and item builds. Later in this video, I will give my personal thoughts on whether he's worth the investment. Let's go straight to her abilities. Milim has a party buff of melee damage plus 50%. She also has a skill damage plus 10% and plus 5% shield increase on battle start. This party buff focuses on dealing burst damage and can be quite effective in different game modes when used correctly. Her normal attack is called You Want to Play. It is separated into a normal attack and a character skill. Milim Punch throws fists condensed with magic to inflict melee damage to enemies. Although it inflicts melee damage, her normal attack possesses a considerable reach. Furthermore, it can penetrate walls and obstacles. This attack isn't suitable for expedition and cop defense because of its lack of area of effect damage. Milim Kick jumps towards the target and uses kicks to inflict melee damage to enemies. This skill is very straightforward, making it ideal for chasing down fleeing enemies. This skill is effective in PvP scenarios. Her chain skill is called Drago Buster. It is down to injured. Charges and releases massive energy to inflict 575% of DPS as ranged damage around the target. It is an area skill, which means it targets the ground. Don't delay this skill too much because enemies can run and dodge it. She deals melee damage, and even her party buff is oriented towards melee combat. However, her chain skill deals ranged damage, leading to a lack of synergy between her default damage and chain skill. Avoid using it in raid contents due to its difficulty in synergizing with the party. Her special ability is called Milim Eye. At the start of the battle, Milim's crit hit resistance increases by 20%. When using Milim Kick, her def increases by 20% for 4 seconds. And on hit, the enemy's weapon skill regen speed decreases by 30% for 2 seconds. The special ability is straightforward. Its primary aim is to leverage essential PvP stats, delaying the enemy's weapon skill and reducing critical damage received. This ability is primarily intended for use in PvP modes. Now let's see her exclusive weapon. Her exclusive weapon is called Dragon Knuckles, and it's an epic claw. This weapon boasts strong stats tailored for dealing burst damage to enemies. You can make use of this weapon's stats effectively in any game mode. The ability of its weapon is as follows. To enemies with 30% or more HP, damage dealt increases by 20%. When using Now I'm Mad, damage taken decreases by 60%. This weapon skill is essentially equivalent to having an additional effect similar to that of the sample statue of Bravery merchandise. You can deploy this ability in almost any scenario except for expedition and co-op defense. Her weapon skill is called Now I'm Mad. It is level 5. It has 280% DPS and a cooldown time of 10.2 seconds. Releases energy to inflict melee damage to enemies. Puts them in a down state. Her weapon skill closely resembles that of Beth's, as it involves leaping toward the enemy and dealing area damage, but it boasts a significantly broader area of effect. This versatility makes it valuable in all game modes. Now let's evaluate her overall kits. Following our checklist, here's my suggestion. You can use Milim in story mode because her normal attack can pass through walls and obstacles, allowing her to eliminate enemies hiding behind cover. Additionally, she is resilient enough to endure long journeys. However, it's advisable to have a healer in the party because she cannot sustain herself independently. You can certainly use Milim in both 3 vs 3 and regular arena, as her overall kits are oriented towards PvP. Her special ability reduces enemy weapon skill regen speed and provides good resistance against critical hits. Additionally, her exclusive weapon ability is designed to enhance PvP stats, dealing more damage and receiving less damage from enemies. I believe you can utilize Milim in the Colosseum due to her focus on PvP-oriented stats. However, she lacks synergy and specific Colosseum abilities, so she's unlikely to become a meta character in this mode. I would not advise employing Milim in PvE situations requiring high DPS, as she lacks synergy with team DPS, and her stats are primarily self-focused. Moreover, she lacks any defense shredding capabilities, which are essential for PvE engagements. You have the option to utilize Milim in co-op stages and Camazone, although she might not be the optimal choice. The decision to use her in these stages depends on the specific situation or enemies encountered. Now, let's discuss the item builds. This setup is ideal for World Story, Arena, Coliseum, or any game mode that demands survivability. For weapons, her exclusive weapon is recommended due to its special ability, making her more effective in PvP. Consider these alternative weapons as viable options. As for accessories, opt for high toughness ones with favorable skill damage and skill regen speed attributes. Regarding cards, 2 defense cards are suggested. For merchandise, equip Yuzi photo card set and max its level for heightened HP and defense stats. You can replace it with the Mad Panda Trio trophy for the final build. For the relic, select Guidance of Truth for its defense party buff. Aim for defense, HP, and skill damage for basic options, and consider adding a crit hit multiplier for sub-options. If focusing on PvP, enchanting PvP damage may also be beneficial.
私はミリムナーバ、魔王なのだ!
Milim's character in the game seems to match her role in the manga or anime series pretty well. She's always ready for a fight, just like you'd expect. And when you look at her skills and abilities, they're all about PvP battles. You know, player versus player stuff. It's like she's built for those intense showdowns where you're facing off against other players. Her abilities boost melee damage and help her resist critical hits, and she can even slow down enemy skill regeneration. It's all about dominating in PvP matches. This connection to her character from the stories adds some real depth to her in-game persona. It lets players feel like they're stepping into the shoes of Milim Nava, the powerful and fierce demon lord, as they dive into those adrenaline-pumping PvP battles in the game. I hope this review helps you in determining whether to invest in her or not. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next video.